Earth is your day job. A lot of us are going through this intense spiritual awakening or quickening in our spiritual journey. There's a lot of changes that are happening on the soul level, on the physical level. A lot of changes that are in the incubation phase in our lives that are going to be manifesting in the external world around us that we're going to see in the coming weeks, months, and years. We're seeing this powerful realization of our identity as spirit, as soul, as having these multiple bodies that align with the different dimensions that give us access to those dimensions, and waking up to the fact that we are a lot more than a physical body. The physical body is just the tip of the iceberg. You can take a look at the live streams that I've done recently, the one on the 1111 portal about the upgrade in the operating system of humanity, and I reference there the different levels of the soul, or the different layers of the soul. I also discuss how this is a really special time right now, how we have this quickening and this spiritual awakening that's happening. And some people are really waking up to this awareness. Some people have had this awareness for years and are feeling this intensity that is happening. And what is it really all about, being a spirit or a soul in a human body? Well, a lot of it is to do what we call light work. We are raising the frequency, the vibration of the planet, of the collective consciousness, by healing all this heavy karma, all this heavy emotional baggage, healing and releasing all these old paradigms. There is so much that we are working with and working through on a personal and collective level. And this is the really incredible and amazing part of our lives and what we're meant to do here on this planet. We are detaching from these quite stagnant paradigms where the purpose of your life is just to have financial success, is to be in a relationship, get married, have kids, and all the different variations on this. Everyone's journey is important because everyone has a slightly different variation, has similar themes, but it's playing out in a different way. And so we're all discovering and navigating our own path. And we're discovering the places where our paths converge and where our paths are different. And ultimately creating our own path in the process. We are alchemizing trauma, pain, fear, anger. A lot of these emotional states are very strongly tied to thought paradigms and beliefs, so we are transmuting, transforming, alchemizing really the emotional and thought patterns. This happens on all different levels. It happens on a physical level where we've got this emotional pain and trauma stuck in the body. It's being released, but it's not just the physical body, it is all the different levels and layers of the soul as well. We possess the different layers and levels of soul right up to source consciousness. And the closer we are able to realize that we have these different levels of soul, we are able to align more with who we truly are. We are able to have this balanced and integrated identity. Our identity isn't so much rooted in something that seems more narrow and shallow and maybe superficial, but can encompass the entire universe, the entirety of dimensions that we can't sense with the mind on a conscious level, because ultimately these different layers are beyond the level of the mind. But we can get a sense that we are more than what we thought we were. It's very difficult to try and categorize or analyze, but of course our awareness will increase as we go through this kind of spiritual growth. So we'll be able to get a better idea of who we are and what we're experiencing. The more awareness we have, we'll be able to articulate it in a better way, if not perfect, but still developing better and better paradigms that are more accurate to the newness of the reality that we're discovering and walking into. A lot of us that are aware of this healing work that we're doing, of this remembering who we are, of this self-discovery, of this potentially very painful and triggering journey that is very difficult and hard as we release the struggle and move into a life that where there is more ease, there's more joy, there's more alignment with the highest frequency of love. This is our primary purpose here. It is this process of healing and alchemizing and transforming us and the world around us. From a higher perspective, this is really our day job. If you've had a day job, you are familiar with how maybe when you started you had a bunch of enthusiasm, but after a while that enthusiasm mellowed out and you learned how to develop balance in your life. You didn't dedicate all your focus, all your energy, all your sense of self-worth from only your job, but you developed a sense of identity, habits, hobbies, fun things to do outside of that job. A lot of our spiritual work is very challenging, very difficult, very heavy, but I thought about it today as like doing a day job. You do your work, and coincidentally, I'm dealing with things at work which are very challenging and hard, but I do the work I need to do, and then I leave it. I have this extra time outside of that where I have more to my life than just that. The same thing, if our primary directive is that spiritual work, you don't need to work all the time and have all your energy and resources dedicated to that. You can also do other things for fun to enhance and enrich your experience here on Earth. If the primary directive isn't to be super successful and have a relationship, have kids, get married, then you ultimately have the choice, just like you have the choice to do what you want to do outside of your job. You know, maybe within your job, and it might be a great job, you have limitation. There are things that you do need to work on. But outside of your job, you have a lot more freedom. So you can think about the choices you have in your personal life as choices where you have that freedom. You choose to be in relationship with people because it is fun and you enjoy it and it's enriching. Maybe if these relationships aren't fun and enriching for you, and if you're not getting enjoyment from it, you have the choice to choose something else. You really don't need to have like a death grip on, who you think you should be dating or marrying or all of these other different choices. If you are aligned and tuned into your spirit and your soul, your inner sense will direct you. Your emotional guidance system will direct you. Your spirit will direct you and give you some red warning lights if something is not such a great idea or not so helpful for you. But ultimately, you get to choose wherever your heart leads you. Of course, the choices that you make could affect the work that you have to do, your main directive for being on Earth. Maybe that's not so helpful, but it's less of an issue of right or wrong rather than choice and freedom.